Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chtib Zhang Show, episode 18. We have a packed episode, Eric. We'll be talking NFL draft, giving our reactions to the picks. We'll be talking about the sticky situation in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. And of course, we'll be talking the Montreal Canadiens as they try and tie the Winnipeg Jets third in the North Division. But first, Eric, you thought I was going to say roll it, but no, we're actually going to go to our first sponsorship. Hot Streak Fantasy. This is a really cool fantasy app. So this episode is brought to you by Hot Streak Fantasy, the best in-play fantasy app on the market. You pick 2 to 3 players in the NBA while you're watching your favorite teams, and you watch them make you some money. Hot Streak is matching your initial deposit as a bonus. So get Hot Streak Fantasy app now. Eric, you love this app. I love this app.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So it's very simple. So you just press on new entry, and then it gives you a bunch of like games that are happening today. So it's only for basketball. So there's a bunch of games, and then you get to pick 2 or 3 players, and then they have their points. Like let's say Jared Allen has 14.5, Kevin Love has 13.5, and then you get to pick over or under, and then it'll give you you get to choose over or under, and then it says your amount and then your balance. Super simple.
Yeah.
Quick way to make money if you know basketball, or even if you don't. Like it's a quick way to like interact with the
Definitely,
game.
it speaks for itself. The app, it's quick and easy, and it really is simple and quick and easy. So, guys, make sure to download Hot Streak Fantasy app, check it out, make an account, and just get going on making some money. So, Eric, let's get right into the episode. But first, roll it. Welcome back to the Chtib Zhang Show. I'm Chtib Zhang. It's episode 18, Eric. And as we do usually, we talk about our fantasy teams. And of course, our fantasy season has come to an end. Eric, how about you tell them how it went?
Okay, well, I'll start with me. Well, I lost in the finals badly, very badly.
Didn't even put up a fight.
not even all. I put up a little fight. I took a little lead, and then I just choked.
Well, me, I lost, as you know, in the semis, but you get to play the following week to determine who comes third, and I actually won that battle. So I finished the season third place. You finished second place. You get yourself a nice $100 though. Finishing second, I get nothing, I guess. So shit all for third place, just participation at this point.
Exactly.
In our other fantasy with our buddies, I lost in the finals, heartbreaking. I was up all week, and then Big Thursday swung the momentum in his favor.
And I ended third in that league, so it's kind of
it's the same. Literally, yeah, circle of life. It's tough, We tried. We thought our teams were built for success, and that's what happens every year. Fantasy, you put a competitive team forward, and you end up losing to another better team. Sad. Hey. It was a good fan. I enjoyed it. I started the season 0-3. I'm just glad I finished, in the top 3. Was my main goal. And so, yeah, well, I'm glad you guys followed along. Sorry we couldn't deliver. We would have liked to, but we didn't. Until next year, as they say. But, Eric, we have a busy episode today because we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, the NFL draft concluded. The first round concluded. We'll talk about that. A lot of picks happened. It was a lot of funny situations. A lot of stuff, that potentially we thought happened, end up happening, and a lot of stuff that surprised us as well. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Right, with the first 2 picks, like we said last time, nothing was going to change. First 2 picks was Trevor Lawrence going to the Jaguars and Zach Wilson going to the Jets. And then when we were watching the draft, that's when we said the draft started at third, the 49ers. When we were predicting, I went 49ers, thought they would go with Justin Fields. You said Trey Lance, and that's actually what they ended up doing. They grabbed Trey Lance, the Patrick Mahomes-esque type player without the strong arm is how I would evaluate him. And, the 49ers traded up, obviously, 4 quarterbacks, so we knew one of these guys were getting taken off the board.
Exactly.
Trey Lance goes. Shanahan, I'm guessing, wanted a guy like Trey Lance, improve the offense. Like I said, this guy's a good player. He reminds me of Patrick Mahomes without the strong arm. Very mobile in the pocket. And, so the 49ers, they grabbed themselves a gem. I like the pick. But what I like even better was the pick by the Atlanta Falcons picking
Exactly.
Kyle Pitts,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love. We thought there was a possibility they could have picked a quarterback up here, but obviously Arthur Smith, the head coach and the GM and the whole front office decided to stick with Matt Ryan, trusted Matt Ryan because I still believe Matt Ryan's a great QB in this league. He was an MVP in 2016, I believe, and I think he still has it in him. Kyle Pitts joins the wide receiving core of Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. So that's
still a really good. Yeah, that's a really good team. I don't know are they keeping Todd Gurley? I'm not sure, but if they do keep Todd Gurley, like that's a good team.
I think he was signed for 2 years.
Was he? Okay,
sure.
well,
I have no clue
if
of his
that's
contract.
a team, that's a really good team. And Matt Ryan, because the thing is, if they drafted a quarterback there, that means they would have had to trade Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. Like, if you draft a quarterback, like it just means you're rebuilding, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that they did draft tight end shows that they still want to continue playing. Compete for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Pitts is an absolute monster. He's going to be a beast in this league for a long time. And so, why not get, tight end? I probably would have done the same thing too. So Kyle Pitts goes to the Atlanta Falcons. He joins a dangerous wide receiving core. And then we get to the Cincinnati Bengals, Eric, my team. The Bengals, one or two possibilities. They go with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is now Bengal. They pass on Penei Sewell. And let me break it down for you, Eric. There's a lot of people out there, even myself, one of them, who wanted a guy like Penei Sewell to be that protector for Joe Burrow down long term. But they get a guy like Jamar Chase, and I'll tell you why they got a guy like Jamar Chase, Eric. The AFC North, as you know, as a Steelers fan, is a very competitive division, maybe one of the most competitive divisions in all of football. But don't even look at the AFC North, Eric. How about you look at the AFC in general? And who are the two top teams in the AFC? You got Kansas City.
Exactly.
Kansas City, and you got the Buffalo Bills. Okay.
I was gonna say Steelers, but yeah, Buffalo Bills.
Okay, the top two teams.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Those two teams. And what do those two teams love to do, Eric?
They love to throw. Yeah, love to throw.
Throw the ball, right?
Exactly.
I didn't take no trick question. They love to throw the ball.
Yeah,
they love to throw a ball. And how I analyze this is I'm looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're looking at the AFC North in general, not their own division, and they want to compete, obviously.
Okay.
Let's get one thing straight. Jamar Chase doesn't make him a Super Bowl contender, doesn't make him a playoff lock, of course, nothing. But he is going to be a piece on this team for a long time, okay? And so the Cincinnati Bengals, they're looking long term, and they're thinking the only way we can beat Kansas City and Buffalo is if we build their team like them, if we add pieces like theirs, if we compete like them. Those two teams love to throw the ball, right? The only way you're gonna be able to be as competitive as them is you have to be able to score too. You have to be able to throw the ball as well. And a guy like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I think that's what they were thinking. Obviously, Joe Burrow, LSU, big connection. He had a big influence on this pick, I believe. There was
for sure.
Jamar Chase actually got a text the morning of the draft saying, pack your stuff. So he obviously knew he was going to be a Bengal at the draft. And, I love both of these guys, Penei Sewell. I think they couldn't have gone wrong with either pick. So I'm not mad that they went Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase. I got a Jamar Chase LSU jersey. I just bought one.
Wait, which color did you get, by the way?
I got purple.
Okay, nice. There you go.
I like
not
purple.
Yellow.
Not
yellow.
No. The yellow one's too bold.
Yeah, exactly.
White goes with everything. White's a nice fit, but I went with purple because it's bold, but it's nice too. You can throw it over like a white hoodie or something. So I'm excited for that. I'm pumped for that. I'm pumped to watch this guy play. So that's how I see it, right? Penei Sewell is a beast. He's the best O-lineman in this draft. He's going to be great on the Detroit Lions. But just Cincinnati, I think, wanted to compete with those higher teams. They want to compete in their division too. And they add they already had weapons like wide receiving core, of course, but now their wide receiving core is just as dangerous as the likes of Buffalo's or Kansas City's, maybe I would like to say. So that's what I see it. That's how I see it. You may see it differently.
But to me, I like Chase, but Penei Sewell, man. I feel like it probably would have been a better pick. You're talking about throwing the ball, but if you have a good O-line, we kind of saw that in the Super Bowl last year. If you don't have a good O-line, well, Patrick Mahomes can't throw if he keeps getting rushed every time, So if you're talking about throwing, you need a good O-line. Penei Sewell, a lot of people had him like pegged as some people said he was like the only guaranteed Hall of Famer. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people like had like Penei Sewell, like he's already like developed, like he was already a really good O line, so couldn't go wrong with him. But Chase, Jamar, he has a better connection. He has a good connection with
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, and he's a wide receiver. And I don't know. Only time will tell.
Yeah. Only time will tell. Well, Bengals picked at 5th. Eric, 6. I believe I'm getting the picks out right now because my memory is fading. Okay, I can't find it. Who had 6th pick after the Bengals? Was it the Broncos? No, it wasn't the Broncos.
I don't have my
Hold on, I have the picks here. So 6 was the Miami Dolphins. They picked Jalen Waddle, who they think is the most explosive wide receiver in the draft.
Okay.
It's not the worst pick. I like the pick, Jalen Waddle. Obviously, Jalen Waddle. This is clear that teams, I think, were a bit scared of DeVonta Smith's size, and obviously he won the Heisman. You think he'd be the first wide receiver out the draft, but clearly he was the 3rd. So obviously there were some teams out there that were weary of his size and stuff, and I think the Miami Dolphins were one of them. So they go and pick Jalen Waddle, who's also the other wide receiver in Alabama, side by side DeVonta Smith. So he goes to Miami. Nothing wrong with that pick. Time will only tell if DeVonta Smith or him.
But the only thing with Waddle is he's never been wide receiver 1, right? He's always had like either Jerry Jeudy or he had DeVonta Smith. Like he's always played, or even Henry Ruggs. Like he's always played with really good wide receivers. So, but I've seen some highlights. Like this guy can catch up. Like he's
he's
good.
explosive.
Like, he's really good.
He's good, but like we said, the big thing in the NFL draft is time will tell who will be the better player. At 7th, the Detroit Lions, they pick up Penei Sewell, who drops to them, of course,
absolute steal.
To protect Jared Goff. The Lions GM was hyped about it. There was videos like he was hyped about it. You see him in the draft room. He was really excited about that pick, and why not? He's going to be an absolute beast. Going to miss you. Number 8 goes to who was it? Carolina. They pick a cornerback, J.C. Horn. It was either him or Pat Certain in the 2nd, and they go actually back to back. The Broncos, they pick up him. And here, Eric, was interesting. I really thought the Broncos here should have taken a QB. I really think they should have went the QB direction because they pick a cornerback, which they also need, and they say they're okay with their guys, with their group of Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah. Which is okay. I mean, Drew Lock hasn't proven anything yet in the league. Big wild card. Teddy Bridgewater, he's okay. Did play for the Panthers, okay, but the Panthers, weren't competitive this season that much. So, they miss out on a guy like Justin Fields, who I think could have really helped them out. A guy like Mac Jones. I don't know how Bronco fans are feeling. If there are any Bronco fans watching, let us know if you prefer the cornerback or the QB. Time will tell, but I really think they should have gone with the QB here. That's just my opinion. I think their group right now is kind of weak.
For sure.
And then at 10th, originally Dallas's pick, they lost their guy who they wanted.
I think you missed the 9th.
No, Broncos.
Skip 9th.
That's what I mean, Broncos.
Wait, who did
the 9th? The guy pick had they picked the cornerback, Pat Certain, the 2nd.
Oh, okay, exactly. 10th.
They're 9th, and then 10th Cowboys. They lost out on their guy because they were going to pick him. The Broncos took their guy, so they traded their pick to the Eagles, who picked DeVonta Smith. They trade their pick to a divisional rival, a guy who they're going to have to see a lot this season. They picked DeVonta Smith. The Eagles add a wide receiver, and I would say the Giants pretty much got cheesed here, Eric, big time. The Giants were going to pick DeVonta Smith. Let that be known. They were going to pick him up. But of course, Dallas trades their pick to the Eagles. Dallas didn't get their guy, and the Giants get cheesed. And what happens next? The Giants, they trade their pick away because they lost their guy, and they trade their pick to the Bears. Actually, Eric. The New York Giants trade their pick to the Bears, and this was hilarious because we were watching the draft. We were in a Zoom call with our buddy. It's actually his birthday, by the way, today.
Happy birthday.
Shout out to Jeff Meikle. He's a big Patriots fan. And we were looking at this draft, Eric. The 11th pick was the Giants had him. They aren't going to take a quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys had 12. They weren't going to take a quarterback. The Chargers, they're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
The Jets, they're not taking a quarterback.
No.
And who had the 15th pick was the Patriots. So we were sitting here. We saw the Giants had the 11th pick. And we're thinking, holy crap, Justin Fields could go to the Patriots. There is a high chance Justin Fields can go to the Patriots. And, you know, our buddy was freaking out. And he's like, yeah, I really want Justin Fields. And then all of a sudden a trade happens and the Bears get the trade. And that's when we all knew. We all freaked out. We all started dying because we knew that Justin Fields was getting taken here. Bears traded up. We all knew. And then it was just so funny when the Bears said his name, Justin Fields. Anyway, Mac Jones goes to the Patriots, who we thought would go to the Patriots. Bill Belichick doesn't have to trade up or anything. Mac Jones falls.
Exactly.
Still get their quarterback. But there was a chance Justin Fields could have been a New England Patriot.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, I kind of feel bad for Justin Fields, man. Because Bears are so bad at developing QBs. Like, they literally have no good... Like, bro, you see what they did with Mitch Trubisky? I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, the Bears... I think they could be a good team here. I mean, they have the defense, and they didn't really have the offense, but they got their quarterback.
They have Allen Robinson still, who's a really good receiver.
They could be a good team. Like you said, it just depends how they develop Justin Fields. Who knows what they're going to do with Andy Dalton, Justin Fields. I'd like to think Fields is a starter, but they might name Andy Dalton to start week 1, see how he does, and if they lose the game, Fields could be the starter for the rest of the season. That's how I think it might go down.
But do you think if Fields fell, do you think Patriots would have taken him up?
Yes, 100%.
You think so?
100% Bill Belichick would have taken Fields over Mac Jones. I think so. 100%. I mean, he was interested in trading up for Justin Fields. That's what he
probably wouldn't say that now, though. He'd probably be like, Mac Jones. Yeah.
But there was a report that the Patriots were reportedly interested in trading up for Justin Fields. And I think Bill Belichick was sitting there. He kind of hoped Justin Fields would drop to them. He was looking at who had the next picks. But, of course, there was a trade up, and that ruined that. Overall, I mean, if there's any other picks after that, I mean, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, they select Micah Parsons. They try and help out their linebackers because they miss out on their cornerback. Collins, linebacker, goes to Arizona. Arizona need defense. Jalen Phillips was the first edge taken off the board. I mean, there's not much else to say. A lot of, I mean, your Steelers picked Najee Harris.
That was a big. I was so
running back. Of course, they lose James Conner to free agency.
Exactly.
In Arizona, so they need a big running back player. They pick that guy,
and then Etienne goes next.
And then they picked a bunch of O-linemen.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk more about the Bengals here. Because you criticized the Bengals because they didn't pick an O-lineman.
Exactly. Well,
and then in the second round,
specifically though.
In the second round, they picked Jackson Carman, who's an O-lineman.
Okay.
They pick him. They actually traded 8 spots back. They picked him, and this is where a lot of Bengal fans are torn, Eric, because you had a guy like Jackson Carman who you take, but you also had a guy like Tevin Jenkins who was available. Tevin Jenkins, the O-lineman as well.
Okay.
Jackson Carman's 21, Tevin Jenkins 23. Tevin Jenkins, I would say, is the more ready O-lineman.
Okay.
In this draft, if I were to compare these two guys, he's the more ready O-lineman. But Jackson Carman, I guess they believe he still has room to improve as a player. He's only 21.
That's young. 21.
21. He's not 23.
Yeah.
So you have Jackson Carman. They signed Reef from Minnesota on a 1-year deal. So their O-lineman has gone way better than last year for sure. The question was Tevin Jenkins the guy for us? I think so. I'd like to think so. I would have liked to see him pick Tevin Jenkins, but they didn't. But then they help their defensive tackles. They get Joseph Asai, Wyatt Hubert to help out with Trey Hendrickson. So their O-line and their defensive line gets a lot better. So I like the moves by the Bengals in this year's draft, which was good. I don't know if you have anything else to say about your Steelers. They picked Najee Harris. They pick a bunch of O-linemen.
We picked a bunch of O-linemen
because the ball. You guys couldn't move the ball last year.
Exactly. So our team's looking good. We still have one of the best defenses in the league. Obviously, the only I'd say weakness right now for us is obviously O-line. Still, you can draft a bunch of O-lines, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that they're all gonna play and they're all good, right? And they still gotta get used to the system. And then obviously, Big Ben's a little old now.
Big
He's like
Ben's a little
30.
old, you know,
Yeah, he's
bit
plus.
washed. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully, he's a bit washed for this upcoming season. That could help us
I'm
out.
excited to see. We have to do a preview for
Yeah,
the
the
playoffs for sure.
season. But
Or the season, yeah.
you say the playoffs? That's a bit
No,
far
the
stretched from
season. Well,
the, you
for
know.
the Steelers, we're talking about playoffs here, but
Yeah, we'll see too.
Okay.
But I think there's nothing else to say about the draft. In my opinion, I liked all these picks that we talked about. If we have nothing else to say, we can move on.
Move on to something. Well, it happened.
We'll stay in the
during draft?
NFL.
Yeah, it
We'll
happened
stay in
during
the NFL story.
Did it happen during the draft? The first. Yeah, I think it. The news came out.
Well, no. Well, no, the news came out before, and clearly we are talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
Who's
Yeah.
disgruntled with the Green Bay Packers, Eric.
Disgruntled.
I think this news came out before the draft. I believe it did.
Yeah, right before. Yeah.
Where Aaron Rodgers reportedly does not want to return to the Green Bay Packers for next season. He's apparently disgruntled with the front office, of course, reasons being that they drafted Jordan Love to be his successor, and he didn't like that. But of course, there was a report today that actually came out, Eric, where Aaron Rodgers was kind of mad that they cut wide receiver Jake Kumaro.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they cut him, and that was something that apparently, in quotation marks, drove Rodgers nuts. And apparently, this was a wide receiver that Rodgers was who he liked a lot, and they cut him, so that really pissed him off as well. And apparently, he lists destination spots in case they were to trade him, and that entailed the Raiders, the 49ers, and the Broncos.
Okay.
Eric, I think the 49ers are no longer a possibility. They picked Trey Lance. I don't think the 49ers are going to be pushing for Aaron Rodgers anymore. The Raiders, though, intrigues me a lot.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
The Raiders, John Gruden, they have Carr as their quarterback. I don't know if Carr is someone they're looking at for Derek Carr, someone they trust to be in their future.
Exactly.
Aaron Rodgers could be an immediate help right now, and it could actually make that team competitive, Eric. I believe so. The Raiders could be a force to reckon with if Rodgers were to be there. And then you got the Denver Broncos, of course. Aaron Rodgers could go to the Denver Broncos, you know. Broncos.
He made that team a playoff team for sure. Right away, they have really good wide receivers. He could do something with that team for sure.
And it'd be strange, you know. It just wouldn't make sense for me if the Broncos traded for him,
because they wouldn't. Yeah,
because they skip out on a QB. They miss they decide not to draft a QB, and then they would trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I mean, like that would make, even after saying that you had high praise for, or not high praise, but you liked what you saw in Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. You said you had confidence in that group, and then you would do a trade for Aaron Rodgers.
But don't forget, they did something similar with Peyton Manning. They took Peyton Manning when he was old, kind of pretty old, and then they won a chip with him. So
for sure,
they've done it before. So
they've done it before. It's just the front office has said that, you know, they're happy with their group right now. And so if Aaron Rodgers were to get traded there, that'd be kind of like a knife right into the back to those guys. So right now the Raiders are looking like the best spot for me personally for Aaron Rodgers to go, if that's one of his spots that he liked to go. The Raiders, I think, would be trending towards number one right now. Eric, this isn't new to the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers when Brett Favre was still playing in the first round. And so this is just a circle of life for Aaron Rodgers, right? This is just a circle of life. He gets drafted. He takes Brett Favre's spot in Green Bay. He becomes his successor. And now Jordan Love gets drafted while Aaron Rodgers is there. It's just a circle of life. It's coming back to him. But Eric, if Green Bay were to trade Aaron Rodgers, what would that team look like next year? I mean, with Jordan Love at the helm, maybe as competitive as people think they would be. I don't know.
But they still have Devontae Adams.
They have Devontae Adams, who's probably the best wide receiver in the league right now. I mean, they got Aaron Jones. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was playing at an MVP type level last year, right? Well, MVP. He was the best quarterback in the NFL last year, right? And the Green Bay Packers, I mean, they had a great season, but they couldn't get it done. And then you bring in a guy like Jordan Love, who's clearly not going to play to the potential of Rodgers last year, right? He's not going to play like an MVP like that at the first spot. So what can we expect from the Green Bay Packers if they were to like if they were to imagine trading like Aaron Rodgers? What would this team look like?
I think they still be a playoff team, but obviously closer to the 9-7, 10-6 team. But they would still be very competitive because don't forget they're probably gonna get David Bakhtiari. Like their O line is really good. Like
Yeah.
every position is really everything's really good. It's just now they're switching it out for.
But it could be a huge difference. All their positions are good, but the quarterback position is the most important position.
Exactly.
Right? And Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, if he were not to come back, the Packers went 13-3 last year, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have to make a prediction about something, but maybe the Packers, I would say I don't know. You lose a guy like Aaron Rodgers.
Jordan Love is good. I always liked Jordan Love. I always thought he was better than he got drafted before.
Yes.
I always thought he was better, and Jalen Hurts playing really well. So I don't know. Jordan Love, he hasn't played.
I know.
He's good.
But he's not gonna be playing MVP.
Oh, for sure.
Like Rodgers last year. So what? Like the Packers went 13-3. It's unfair to say that, right? Like, oh, the Packers would be bad because he can't play at an MVP type level. Like, there's no doubt about it, which he won't clearly. So then you just gotta expect the Bears. They're getting better. They address the quarterback. They address their own line and picking Tevin Jenkins, who I really like. The Bears had a really good draft. They went 8-8 last year, using Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. So yeah,
could they be a team that gets better next year? They went 8-8. Their defense is good. They could be battling out with Green Bay for the top spot if Aaron Rodgers were to leave. You got the Vikings, the Detroit Lions. I think they're still going to be the bottom dwellers on that team. The Vikings maybe can make a push, but I don't know. They didn't really. They had a good draft, of course.
Yeah.
But that might be this. Fundamentally, that might be the same team going into next year.
The thing with Aaron Rodgers is, I don't, the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
You know Pat Yeah. So I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and one of his boys, I think his name is AJ, is really tight with Aaron Rodgers, and he was saying that they're just treating Aaron Rodgers like shit over there, so badly. Like when they drafted Jordan Love, they didn't even tell him that they were going to draft.
Oh my God, it was the Pat McAfee show. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron Rodgers, if you didn't know this, Aaron Rodgers was literally on the Pat McAfee show before the draft.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were going to talk to Aaron Rodgers after the Green Bay Packers pick to see how they like the pick. Because obviously everyone thought they weren't going to take a QB, right?
Exactly.
So they're going to have Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah,
hold on, I'm in the show. Sorry. And Pat McAfee, they had him on, and then they drafted Jordan Love.
Exactly.
Pat McAfee was like, "Oh my God, I cannot have Aaron Rodgers on the show after I don't know if we can ask him to be on the show." Obviously, Aaron Rodgers did not return because that was a huge shock. Like you said, they did not tell him, and that's how bad it was. He was on a show. He was on a show when this happened, and he could not return because he was so shocked about the pick.
Bro, they told the Bears told Andy Dalton that they're gonna draft Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Tampa told Tom Brady that they're gonna draft, but Aaron Rodgers, who's been there for 15 years at that point, and you don't tell him that you're drafting, and you trade up for a quarterback too, like, come on. And then plus with the wide receiver, Aaron Rodgers thought that was his third wide receiver. He was hyping it up to the media, and then they just cut him, and then he gets picked up right away. Like, it's just tough. I don't know.
For sure.
He's definitely getting no respect there in Green Bay.
Of course. And the GM, he's acting a bit surprised, I would say. He said that Aaron Rodgers has never come forward and communicate this disgruntledness with me, so you can't really blame it on me, which is kind of a load of bullshit, I would say, Eric.
For sure.
Because you knew what you were doing when you drafted Jordan Love.
Oh yeah,
you knew
100%.
what was going to happen. You knew Aaron Rodgers would be pissed. So don't act shocked like he was going to be, just okay with it the next season. Just come in and be happy as hell. And now this guy's acting like he's playing victim card right now, Eric, the GM. Which he shouldn't be. He should take responsibility for his decision to draft Jordan Love, for his decision to cut Jay Kumaro. Obviously, they are not communicating with Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
They're making these moves and they're not talking to their QB, which is a cancerous type of chemistry, cancerous type of locker room you're creating doing this.
But by the fact that they drafted Jordan Love was like, okay, we're ready for you to leave soon, and then he gets an MVP season and proves I'm wrong. So it's very weird dynamic for sure.
This could be huge, Eric. This could be a huge trade that could possibly go down in the NFL.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay,
Yeah.
and Jordan Love taking the helm. I mean, Packer fans, you have no one else to blame but your front office. No one else to blame. This is
Exactly.
not Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Mhm.
Don't blame it on Aaron Rodgers. Don't blame it on any other players. Don't blame it on anything. Don't blame it on the draft. Blah, blah, blah. Just you got to blame it on the front office.
Exactly.
Fair, like, sure. Aaron Rodgers getting old, sure. I mean, he had an MVP season. Jordan Love's going to be the successor. He's going to be your QB no matter what, even if Aaron Rodgers stays, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's going to be your QB of the future. So,
But he's been so consistent too. Like even when they lost this season in the playoffs,
he doesn't throw interceptions.
It wasn't his fault. Like
No.
he had a really good game.
Yeah.
And then they
Just that
they
decision to
kicked
kick the field goal. Yeah.
exactly. Like none of this is really his fault. Like he's played at MVP level. He's been really consistent in the playoffs everywhere. He hasn't talked, like he's just done his job. Like he hasn't even been talk, like he just does his job. That was like probably one of the first times you ever heard him talk like disgruntled. Right? That was probably the first time.
This is definitely a first for a lot of people to see Aaron Rodgers come out and be so public about a team, because usually, like you said, he would always keep to himself. And when he was the quarterback, the Packers were good because he was their guy. But now things have changed.
Exactly.
And I don't know what to say about the Green Bay Packers, how this team would look without Aaron Rodgers next year. Would they be a team? Would they go 10-6? Would they go 9-7? I don't know. Or do they just go 13-3 or something? I don't know.
No,
it's hard to say, but
sure.
if you guys think that the Packers can go 15-1, blah, 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 then I doubt it, because Jordan Love's not going to be playing at an MVP type level like Aaron Rodgers did last year, which the Packers went 13-3 last year and did not win the Super Bowl. So don't expect higher than last year, I would say. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, definitely expect
for sure.
lower, a lot lower.
For sure.
So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, we'll see what's coming in the next few weeks. What else comes out? What else Aaron Rodgers says publicly. Until then, there's not much to say right now. It's not even confirmed if he's going to be traded. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has said he's disgruntled, but he has also said today that he wants to be signed to a long-term deal, and he wants to be involved on the personal choices of the front office. That's what he said. So maybe there's a glimpse of hope for Packers fans. We'll have to see, but we got to move on. Where we're going to actually move on from the NFL completely, Eric, and talk about the NHL, something we haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah.
The NHL, we're going to be talking about the Montreal Canadiens, Eric, who have won back-to-back games now against the Winnipeg Jets and the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
And Eric, those back-to-back wins now have put the Canadiens only 2 points back of the Winnipeg Jets for the third spot in the North Division. Eric, as we know, the playoff standings, how it works, it's 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
Yeah.
Right now on paper, the Habs would be playing the Leafs and the Jets would be playing the Oilers. But if Montreal in their last 6 games, Eric, somehow does better than the Winnipeg Jets in their last 6 games, even though the Habs had the worst schedule, right? They have the harder schedule these last 6 games. They somehow can do better. The Montreal Canadiens could push for a third spot and could end up facing the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. I'll tell you right now, yes, Eric, as a Habs fan who's been watching every game, I'll tell you right now, I would rather definitely face the Edmonton Oilers than the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just basically, the Montreal Canadiens, Philip Deneau, you have to give a lot of credit. He's played Connor McDavid really well this season, and Leon Draisaitl. They've played those two guys really well. Obviously, their bottom 6, Edmonton, nothing special, as we know, because they allocated so much money into those top 2 guys that their bottom 6 has not really done anything. But the Leafs, on the other hand, Eric, have a really good 4 lines that they can roll. I mean, they got veterans all over that line. Nick Foligno, Jason Spezza, Joe Thornton. They got guys all over. They got bottom 6 guys who are doing good. Alex Kerfoot's stepping up in his role. Wayne Simmons. I mean, I wouldn't rather face that team than the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, you just want to talk about the power play alone. I mean, you're saying you want to play against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the power play. Yeah, I am saying that. I'd rather that than face Austin Matthews, who has 38 goals in 40 something games, and Mitch Marner, who I think is Toronto's most consistent player that they've ever had, on this team. He's their most consistent player. He's the guy who drives the offense. Talk about Austin Matthews scoring all these goals, sure. But Mitch Marner's the guy who drives this offense.
Fair, yeah.
And then you got John Tavares, Morgan Riley. I mean, they can just stack that power play.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Leafs, I mean, we play Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl well, but for some reason, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, they still end up scoring against us. So I would take the Oilers. But Eric, these last 6 games for the Habs include Toronto 3 times, Ottawa once, and then the Oilers twice. For the Jets, they face Ottawa twice, Calgary once, Vancouver twice, and then Toronto once. Okay, so they definitely have the easier schedule.
Exactly.
Montreal right now, missing Jonathan Drouin, Thomas Tatar. I think Jonathan Drouin, the media has gone to him, Eric. He is on personal leave.
Yeah.
I think the media has gone to his head. He's taking a personal leave. I don't know when he's going to come back, but clearly he's going through some things. Thomas Tatar injury, Gallagher injured. Their team's not healthy right now, the Montreal Canadiens. Carey Price injured. Their team's not healthy. This team's going to be better when they're fully healthy. Just like last year in the playoffs when the Montreal Canadiens had their 2 months off and they faced the Pittsburgh Penguins healthy. I mean, they looked amazing.
They were so they were really good.
Thanks to the Vancouver Canucks and their COVID-19 whole postponement, the Canucks have, I believe, a whole week where they face, where they have to finish their season off.
Yeah.
And this is great news for Montreal. I mean, they can get some time off before the playoffs where that can help Shea Weber, who's dealing with an upper body injury right now. Carey Price. I mean, Shea Weber was Montreal's best defenseman in the bubble after that 2 month break, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people give that break for granted. You know, that's what really put this team over the edge to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins was that break. Gave Carey Price time, and he was phenomenal. And then you gave Shea Weber, who's our best defenseman.
Jeff Petrie too was really good in the bubble.
Yes, Jeff
scored some really big
and
goals,
of course this season Shea Weber hasn't been playing his usual self in the bubble. He might have been playing injured with an upper body injury. I have no clue, but now he's out with an upper body injury. Thank God it's nothing to do with his feet or anything like that or his ankles. But he'll be out. Let him rest. Let him recover. The blue line has looked pretty well without him, right? Pretty good without him versus the Jets, versus Ottawa. They've looked pretty good. Even better, maybe, I would say, with Shea Weber in the lineup. But I don't know.
For sure.
Shea Weber at his best. We need him. And with this week break because of the Vancouver Canucks, that could give time for guys like Carey Price and Shea Weber to figure out, guys who have been struggling this season, that can give them time to figure out and return to their usual selves, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Like,
obviously, I'll be honest, I don't really follow the Montreal Canes like that. Not like I used to at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really talked about Montreal Canadiens. But from what I've seen from afar, Montreal Canadiens, they've been pretty good under Ducharme. Like they played pretty well. I've looked at their statistics. Like obviously they've had a lot of injuries and things like that. Jonathan Drouin, not too sure. Like obviously we don't really know what happened there. It might be like a personal issue, or if it is the media, you could kind of understand. He was a 3rd overall pick, came to Montreal, his hometown,
traded for Sergachev.
Sergachev's playing really well for them. Won a cup over there, and then Drouin's over here, like kind of like struggling a bit.
Middle 6 forward, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Middle 6 forward. He hasn't turned into that top 6 forward. I mean, he's no bottom 6 forward.
He has a talent though. Like
I mean, he does.
Talent, like this guy. I believe like in his 3rd season, I think he had like 51 points in like 70 games, and then pulled up in the playoffs and put up numbers. Like
I mean, he leads the team in assists, right? But that's why I think he's getting his criticism, is because people thought this guy would be able to score, right? They thought maybe this guy could be a 20-goal scorer because he has the abilities to do it, Eric. He just, I don't know. I think it might be a confidence thing playing in Montreal. It's really gone to his head.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
He's not shooting the puck a lot. He does lead the league. I mean, the team in assists, clearly because he's passing the puck way too much, I believe. But Jonathan Drouin, I mean, I'm not going to dish on this guy. He's one of our best skilled forwards that we have when it comes to hands and to passes and stuff like that. So he's an important piece, I believe, in the playoffs. I mean, we need this guy to be ready. We need him to play for this team when it comes playoff time. When everyone's fully healthy, Gallagher. I mean, the loss of Gallagher. I mean, people will take for granted.
Oh, but Gallagher's so big.
But clearly Gallagher, I mean, just look at the stats without this guy. I mean, the goals for, the goals against, the shooting percentage, they've all gone down for the worse or up
Mm-hmm.
for the worse. And when he comes back, he's going to be that big leadership role again. And I think, they can get their lines going. And if Nick Suzuki keeps rolling hot like he is right now,
Even
and
Toffoli's rolling pretty hard right now.
too, but Toffoli's been consistent all season. Suzuki has been up and down, but right now he's scorching hot. And hopefully, Barry Kotkaniemi, I'm seeing better things in Kotkaniemi's 200-foot game. I'm seeing he's turning better. He's playing better defensively. He's taking responsibility in the neutral zone. And he has a little jump offensively, as we saw playing on the wing on the first line. So if he can come to play like he did in the bubble last year, the Canadiens could be a dangerous team come playoff time, as long as they play to their potential, Eric. As long as they play to their potential.
But I feel like they just have to finish off these 6 games, because if they can match up against Edmonton, that'd be so big for them. If you can beat Edmonton and then go on to play Toronto, like that's so big for if you first round,
knows, man,
you have to play
the Winnipeg Jets facing the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. That'd be a shootout. I'd let those two go at it.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's a 7-game series or something, because that'd be a long series, and hopefully one of those are two dangerous teams. So one of those teams get knocked out. It's great, but like you said, I think, the Montreal Canadiens still down 2 points, or no, was it 2 or it's 2 points? I said?
I think so. Yeah, you said 2 points. You said
2 points. Yeah, 2 points. It's still hard. It's possible, but I'd say it's more unrealistic than possible, just based off these last 6 games. The strength of schedule for the Jets is way better than the Montreal Canadiens. We have to face Toronto 3 times, and we haven't, played.
That might be
Toronto great
helpful,
this season.
though. That might be helpful to be able to see.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you get a feel for how they play.
Exactly.
And, Montreal, their best attribute to their game is their 5-on-5 play, right? They're one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league when it comes to expected goals on ice. And so, the biggest thing playing these teams like Winnipeg, Toronto, Edmonton, the Montreal Canadiens have screwed themselves all season is because they're such a penalized team in this league. They lead the league in penalties taken. And you give Toronto a power play game, 2 power plays a game, Eric, you're going to lose. You give these guys a chance to score. You give Austin Matthews a chance 5, you're going to lose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You cannot take penalties against these guys. And that's a problem the Canadiens have been that's a problem they've been facing all season.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
And that needs to change. So, we'll see. I would love, Eric, to face the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, bring it on. Because I think Connor McDavid's biggest nightmare coming in the playoffs, Eric, you know who it is? It's Philip Deneau. It's Philip Deneau. I am telling you right now. Really? I have watched every Edmonton game, and I'll tell you right now how Connor McDavid, he gets easily frustrated playing Philip Deneau. He plays it. That high stick on Kotkaniemi that he got fined $5,000. That all stems from playing against Philip Deneau and what he's able to do against superstars, and how he's able to shut them down and how it aggravates them.
Yeah, and Montreal's depth matches up really well against Edmonton, because Edmonton,
of course,
other than they have nothing else. They don't have much other than their top 2 players, right? So
that's what I'm saying. That's the difference between Edmonton and Toronto. Toronto has way more depth. Toronto has way more depth than Edmonton. But Oilers might have the 2 best players in the league. We'll make the argument for Austin Matthews might be the second best player in the league at this point. We don't know. He's playing like it. He's scoring like crazy. So we'll see. The Jets playing bad right now. I think they've lost 6 in a row, Eric, 5 in a row or something like that. They are not playing good. Hopefully that can continue. Hopefully they just totally sink these last 6 games and they can face the Leafs the first round, because I do not want to face the Leafs the first round, even though I'm confident in the Montreal Canadiens when it comes to playoff time. I know a lot of people are saying, up and down, they're up and down. I don't think it matters when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens during the playoffs. The regular season, sure, they can beat the Winnipeg Jets one day and then the next day they'll lose to Ottawa Senators.
Yes.
Sure, they're inconsistent as hell like that. But when it comes to a playoff matchup, that doesn't matter anymore, because you're facing that one team. If you need to learn how to play that team, and that's it like that.
Yeah.
The worst thing for me to see in the playoffs, Eric, is if the Montreal Canadiens were inconsistent as much as they were in the regular season and against the Toronto Maple Leafs. If they come out let's say game 1, they come out totally dominant, and then game 2, they just totally lose their sense. They totally lose their ability to play the puck, which is their strength in the neutral zone, especially the speed. If they totally lose that and teams counter it, I don't know. We've seen the inconsistency before the season. I just hope it doesn't continue into the playoffs, which I believe it won't, is what I'm saying. when this team's fully healthy. So hopefully, I mean, that week off, like I said,
wait, how far back is Vancouver to Montreal?
they're done now. We don't even have to talk about Vancouver.
No, not even
Vancouver's done. Calgary's done. It's
Okay,
over.
fair.
Those two are the playoffs are set, Eric.
Okay.
It's those 4 teams are a lock, and that's
Okay,
it.
it's about seeding now. Huh?
So it's about seeding, basically, unless Edmonton or the Habs somehow go 0-6. The Habs go 0-6. It's bad.
Okay.
I think the Habs here just need to go.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's over for the Calgary. Like, I think they just need one win here, and it's a lock or something. I think it already is a lock, but if they win tonight, I think it's over. It's officially done for Calgary, I think, in my opinion. But that's basically it. Habs actually play the Leafs tonight, but you won't see this episode till Wednesday, so we'll find out what happens. And then, yeah, that's going to be the end of the story. So it's going to be exciting stretch of 6 games here. Ending the season. Playoffs are going to start. Montreal's going to be returning to the playoffs. Knock on wood, hopefully, unless they go 0-6, they'll be returning.
Yeah.
Since the playoffs last year where they upset the Pittsburgh Penguins, hopefully we'll see what happens this playoffs.
Big ups, yeah.
Hopefully, cross the fingers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Once again, thank you for listening to the Chtib Zhang show. We thought we had to cover the NFL draft, and that's what we did. And then we talk a little Habs and end it off like there. So once again, thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week for episode 19 of the Chtib Zhang show. Until then, we'll see you next week. Peace.